here with Spirit, and got Brent there behind the camera and our lovely clients off camera. They will be staying off camera today. They're not feeling the vibe of being in front of the screen, but we will get to hear their voices and their experiences. We can get a little information from them just after a while. We are in Antelope today to determine the nature of a haunt, to figure out what is happening in a space. Seems like a lovely home. There is a lot of joy and love in the space, but I also feel there might be a dynamic that is confusing, that's not quite working with their energy expectations. I believe some balance needs to be achieved here. There might be energies that are not understanding the rules or the boundaries of a space, and or might be just a little noisy, because I keep getting really profound ringing in my ears, like really almost deafening sounds in my ears. I keep feeling the sensation of an older gentleman walking around the space, and I keep hearing footsteps and shuffling. I keep hearing movement, and also movement of other objects. I feel things are moving. I don't know if the living are actually experiencing the phenomena, but I can hear it on a spiritual plane. So anybody with spiritual inclination may be able to perceive it. I think the walkthrough is going to prove to be kind of interesting, because I think there's areas and pockets of different types of energy, and I'm not sure why that would be so. Maybe certain areas are just better, lighter, safer, more comfortable, and other areas are just like, I don't want to be in this area. I don't want to be over here. There are some animals that are outside that I want to cuddle with later, because, you know, any animal is great to me. I feel like that they may have some interaction with the other side as well. Obviously, animals are more apt to perceive because they don't have the filter. So they can see in spectrums, light spectrums, feel things, hear things that we can't, just because of their innate ability. So I think that that might be something that's going on for them. And this older gentleman just keeps pacing around. Like, I keep see him pacing around and then going up and then coming down and then pacing around. Like, he's following a track. So I don't know if he's active or residual yet. He just seems to be following sort of a pattern. There's a younger male, I would say probably 20s to 30s, that seems to be wandering the space too. And I have no idea. He hasn't approached me at all yet. I have no idea where he came from. And there's also an older female that's giving me some hip and leg pain and some like uncomfortability with walking. She seems to have a little pain kind of going on with her. She has a more protective vibe. She's got a more defensive, protective, doting type of vibe with her. So we'll just kind of explore all the areas. We'll figure out what's happening. If they want to engage with us, you know, we can't necessarily make them talk to us. We can't make them say anything if they don't want to. But if they want to, we want to hear. We want to know why they're here. Maybe why they're not necessarily understanding the living versus spiritual realm boundaries. And also, most of all, just reboot the space for our clients so they can love the space and they can enjoy the space and they can continue to have it as a home that they cherish and enjoy together. Because there is a lot of light and love in the space. There's a lot of good energy here too. But it just, I don't know, it's kind of strange. It's like, which of these things that doesn't go with the other? One of them just gave me a really profound pain in my chest. That was a little bit uncomfortable. It was very sharp. It almost felt like a clot or a blood clot of some kind. It was very, very sharp and sudden feeling. And thankfully it's now dissipated, which I appreciate, because I don't feel like feeling that today. So we'll do a little walkabout. We'll figure out who's here. What do they want? And if they can't be calm and quiet, can they just move on? That is my hope. So it'll be a fun adventure. See how it goes. I think I'll deal with that up there later. Till that second. That's just one thing at a time, people. One thing at a time. So a little bit of noise, movement, noise, movement, noise and movement. Oh yeah, those are poopies. I keep feeling a pressure of in the back with somebody. A lot of tightness and pressure and pain. It's very uncomfortable actually. And this older female, I keep seeing her kind of just sort of bustling around and picking up after people. She's moving around and picking up after people. It's just like, it's a repetitive type of memory, emotion. Clean up after people, take care of people. Do you need this? Do you need that? Or do you have... It's a lot of tending to people, but she's stuck kind of in just sort of a very much of a loop with taking care of things. This is kind of the energy I feel about her. And so she does seem helpful for what it's worth. She's like a helpful lady.
You can go in.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I can figure out how to move it. I'm feeling a little bit of throat discomfort in here. A little pressure in my throat and breathing. So there's a little bit of that going on. Asthmatic type of feeling and tightness in my throat. Yeah, it's an interesting feeling in there. A little bit of anxiety too. I get the sensation of anxiety. Some sort of anxiousness in the space. I can't quite pin it down. And that's just the garage out there?
Yes.
I don't know if I necessarily need to bother your garage. Unless you feel like there's weirdness in the garage, but...
Might as well.
Might as well look at everything.
Yeah.
Might as well. Some people don't like me messing around in their garages. Ooh.
Especially with killer bikes in there, right?
Well, that's fancy.
Who's the bike guy?
Feeling the impression of another male soul out here, not quite as old, and I don't know if it's a residual memory, a sense memory. It's almost like things get moved. Like it was just there, it was just there. And then are people moving stuff? Like, are the dead moving? I feel like people are moving things out here.
Probably just my memory, but
Things aren't where they're supposed to be. Is kind of the sensation that I'm feeling. Just like I just left it right here. It's supposed to be right here. That kind of thing going on. Could be the dead, could be the living, could be both. But I do feel a lot of movement. And also the sensation of not feeling alone out here. I don't feel alone at all out here. And the ear pressure is extremely high in this space. And again with the chest, something with the tightness right here. Something really, really tight in the chest. This one individual, he seems to be in his 40s, maybe 50s. I feel like his hair is a little bit darker. Or at least it was like in youth. It's a little bit darker. I don't know who he is, but he seems to be out here a lot. Quite a bit. I don't feel quite alone. I feel like you turn around and like expect someone to be there, and there's nobody there. Or like the auditory phenomenon feels like it's something. I don't know if the living would experience this or not, but I feel like auditory phenomenon is big out here. Hearing little things move. Yeah, it's a little strange. I don't know that it's necessarily malicious, but unnerving, yes. Although if something almost falls on you, and that would seem a little startling. That would be less than desirable if something was going to fall. Let's figure that out. Ooh, the pressure gets really high up here, like like earmuffs. Like it's really heavy pressure in the ears. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So it's almost like this looming, like you watch the TV, like, you know, and you look and you feel like you see something. You feel like you see someone, but then you try to rationalize. Well, no, lighting, it's the window. It's, oh, it's not, you know, it's fine. But then it starts to happen more. Other people notice it. Family, friends, pets, everybody's noticing something. And it starts to be harder to debunk or ignore. Because it feels like this, it's kind of like, almost like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? Very kind of judgy. Honestly, from this energy is just like, almost looking, it's very rude. What an attitude on this one. That's quite the tude. I don't know what these dead people think, but it's not polite. Oh, I hope they don't pop up over there. That's not good. That'd be creepy. I wouldn't want to be asleep and then, oh. The sensation of like pressure. I feel like pressure almost holding me down. It's like a pressure, like feeling pressure on. It's hard to breathe. So there is a pressure from something, and I don't know what it is. If it's physical, medical, or if it's entity-based, but it feels like there's a pressure upon me in that space. Then the dreams seem a little odd. They don't seem quite normal. The dreams seem a little almost disjointed and fragmented and weird. A little upsetting. What is that? And that older woman keeps following me around. A little bossy, kind of, to be honest, but very much means well. She seems kind of nice, but very bossy lady. Only because she thinks she knows what's right for people. I feel like she was very, very pretty when she was younger, and she's kind of got a little bit of a politely overbearing mother hen tendency about her. She seems to be concerned with taking care of people. Someone is making me feel severe pain and pressure in my shoulder joint, and it's just very tight, and it's almost like a cartilage issue. It's a little bit uncomfortable in there. Yeah, I feel a sensation of like chronic headaches, chronic pain, chronic headaches in the space. Just a lot of head pain, neck pain too. Head and neck seem to hurt a lot. With some either possibly living or maybe one of the previous souls, but I feel a lot of head and neck pain in here. Bathroom under construction.
Yes.
Well, hello there. How are you, Mr. Lizard? It's like, what are you people doing? Cute little guy. sharp pain. A lot of sharp pain. The energy in here feels very, very driven, but a little bit disjointed. A lot of hopes, a lot of dreams, a lot of aspiration, but a little disjointed, trying to find sort of a middle ground with life, trying to find balance, trying to find harmony. Clearly a unique, eclectic animal habit. I don't even know what's in half of these.
That's okay. I don't either. Snakes, lizards.
I'm not sure that I want to know what's in all of them, quite frankly. Sure.
There's a gecko in the bottom left, and then a bearded dragon.
Oh, okay.
The rest are snakes.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Hello, is anybody home? A little bit of pride and defiance, but a desire to make people proud too. A little argumentative stubbornness. But then again, I'm stubborn, so it's not really a bad thing. At least not to me. I think it's okay. It could be an asset, right? But this energy in here, actually, there's a lot of, I don't know, I'm conflicted. There's like a dichotomy. There's a lot of balance and quietness in here, but then there's a lot of hecticness. It's very confusing to me, quite frankly. Like, I feel torn in two different directions energetically, and I don't know why I feel that way.
This is a 15-year-old teenage girl's room.
Oh, okay, because I feel all over the place. She a little stubborn?
A little bit.
Okay. Not necessarily a bad thing. It just is.
It's our granddaughter.
Oh. Well, seems like a good kid. I mean, determined. This is the type of soul that will probably conquer a lot of things, but is just really trying to find what the thing is. So that's kind of how I feel about the energy in here. But very, very smart. Very smart energy. But the problem with that is it's sometimes too smart for your own good type of thing. Like, no, everything, come on, I know it. And no, let me tell you, I've had time, I've had experience. So there's a little bit of that kind of going on. But how is her sleep? Because it feels a little bit
broken.
Rocky. Yeah, was the word I was going to use, is a little bit rocky. So she may be a little bit sensitive to energy.
She is.
Okay. So that could be part of the issue. And I want to be very, very careful when I smudge in here, just to be really careful around the animals. The animals, not upsetting them. But she will want to probably do some maintenance. You guys all will, especially if you're a little bit sensitive to vibrations. I think maintenance is going to be important in a space like this, because this age is really, it will draw energy in, and it will also create energy in the space. Females especially, going through teen years and puberty years, their own energy, their anxiety, their frustration, their annoyance, their disappointments, all come out from them energetically and affect the space. And,
gotcha.
You know, it may be like a monthly thing you guys do together, you know, just do a little smudge or anointing of the house or something, because every time she gets annoyed with somebody or something goes, you know, a little haywire, that energy will leach into the space and feed anything that could be around.
Gotcha.
Or create something. Because we can create manifestations in a space.
Oh, okay.
which is a weird phenomena, but it's very...
And then you all have all the ingredients for a poltergeist.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No,
Yeah, we don't want any of that.
As fun-loving as we are, we're good.
Yeah, no, and because what it feels more or less is like you've got a lot of nosy, busybody, dead people that may be connected to you in some way, shape, or form, and they're just making a lot of racket about some... There seems to be something that doesn't quite fit, though, and it's very rude and has an attitude that I can't quite quantify. It's almost like they stare disapprovingly at people, and it's really, I don't know if it was a human or a non-human or what it is, but like there's like this collective of energy that is very... it's not nice. It's like rude and has like this attitude, and I don't know how it's interacting with people. I don't know quite yet what it's not showing. I'm not able to see exactly everything that it's doing to the living, but I think it's impacting the flow of the environment. Like it could cause arguments, it could cause misunderstandings, the sleep problems, breathing problems, anxiety. All of these phenomena I feel could come along with whatever this thing is, because it seems to be sort of intimidating is kind of the impression that I'm getting from it. But I can't quite figure out what it is just yet. Her ability to feel things and also send energy into the space is definitely something that I don't know if you guys would be, considering letting her, do some prayer and meditation or some guided meditations, or look for some things like that maybe help her discharge energy.
Gotcha.
Because discharging anxiety and energy in healthy ways is much better for the overall environment and the health of the energy of the home too. I think that would make a big difference for everyone.
Okay.
So we'll keep wandering. Something that just feels very interesting in here. I'm trying to figure out. It's almost. I still keep hearing the feet. I keep hearing feet. I feel a lot of focus, drive, intelligence.
In the middle of that mess.
Yeah, I actually do. It's chaos, but I feel it's almost like Einstein said, a messy desk is a sign of a busy, active mind, and so what is an empty desk the sign of?
I think didn't he say that a clean desk is a sign of a sick mind?
Something to that effect. It's like the chaos is creativity. I sense a lot of creativity in the chaos, but I find it fine. I mean, I don't have any problem here. It actually feels like this is this is almost like a Zen space in a weird way, like to get away from humanity. This is an escape. Super weird right in here.
The dogs will look,
Okay.
and you go, what's going on? They'll look at you, and then they'll look back. And he'll be sitting on the couch, and he looks in, and he stares right up here.
Okay, so me feeling weird right in this area.
Makes
Staircase
sense.
and the landing.
It makes
is
sense.
Where we've had the most.
Okay.
Experience.
The most
Okay.
experience.
Well, thank you for the validation, but it's weird, and I can't what is happening? I can bless the heck out of it. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
That I can do, but it's this weird energy of just snootiness. It's just this real snooty energy. It's very.
That's my mother.
Oh.
I
All right, so we're just going to do a quick little mini validation here for a couple minutes. Just impressions of the walkthrough. Were there things that I said that made sense, that you validate as experiences you've had, or things that resonate? You said the staircase was one thing.
Absolutely.
Your mother's energy. If you want to just kind of expand upon some of that.
So, you said that whoever you're feeling is very judgmental, almost kind of snooty, and that is how every human being always described my mother.
Oh Lord. Okay.
That was just who she was.
Yeah, yeah.
And she passed a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
But that makes perfect sense. And then the feeling of presence in the staircase, that's where my husband and I constantly see the movement.
Okay.
And then the other thing that you said that really kind of hit was the pressure on the bed.
Yeah.
That's his side of the bed.
Oh, okay.
And that is where he constantly says he feels like somebody's sitting on the edge of the bed with him.
Oh.
So that was definitely
Okay.
on key.
Oh, well. And, you know, sometimes they just sit there to, like, see what you're doing and check you out, and maybe they're even a relative, but they're just kind of, you know, being weird. And so, do you feel scared when that happens, or just it's kind of weird?
It's just weird.
Yeah. Well, and don't be afraid to interact with some of your loved ones, even if they have a little bit of a personality conflict here and there. You can tell them, hey, you know, nice that you're visiting, but can you back off a little, please? You can set these boundaries. It's no different than setting boundaries with the living.
Okay.
If you don't want them all up in your space, you say, I don't want you in my space, or I need some room. Give me some breathing room. You know, you can tell them when you need room.
Gotcha.
You don't have to let them run the show just because they're, you know, semi-see-through-ish. You know, they don't own your home. You're in charge of your space. This is your space. They're not paying rent, you know. They have to follow your rules. And with a young person in the house, like I was saying, you are going to need to really be cognizant of just keeping energy good, prayer, meditation, that kind of stuff, occasionally blessing the space, just clearing off energy as it accumulates.
Okay.
So, what was going on with the garage? Because it felt a little interesting. Like I was feeling like things were moving or being moved. And I mean, are you just...
And I set stuff down, I can't find it. You know, I just chalk it up to my memory. But it eventually turns up.
And is it in a place where you would have expected you would have put it?
Most of the time.
Well, it's good that you're finding this stuff. I get that sensation of things moving all over the place out there. That's the feeling that I had. So, not sure if it's paranormal or if it's just coincidence, but that's how I felt about it.
My memory.
Yeah, it's just stuff's moving. Maybe make yourself notes just in case.
Yeah, right.
What other things did you, like as far as your experiences or things that I felt or combination thereof?
So, like I said, just the feeling of somebody coming up and down the stairs. One of my concerns is I am a nurse.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a cancer nurse.
Oh.
And I
Deal with death.
You're afraid you're attracting things home sometimes, yeah. And that is very possible. Which, again, my advice earlier of regular maintenance, that will still apply.
Okay.
That will still be necessary. Because people who are in first responder fields or, you know, nursing doctors, people who work in the ORs, people who are hospice, you know, related, that kind of stuff, firefighters, police, they all kind of need to be aware of energy. Right. Because it can, sometimes souls will get a little confused.
Right. They'll
go home with the wrong person, and then they're looking for help.
And that was my concern,
Yeah.
is that I'm doing this for 20 years, and I've lost track of how many people have passed away while I was with them. And I have a tendency to get extremely close to my patients. So we're real bonded.
Yeah, well, and that makes sense. That's what probably makes you a really good nurse, is that you care, you have a heart, and they feel like when they are exiting the earthly plane, they're doing so with a little bit of love and respect and dignity, and that's very honorable, and I think that's pretty special. Death is not the end.
No,
you know, it's the end.
I've never felt that it was.
It's the end of the body, but you know, the soul continues to do beautiful things and go on to the light and do other stuff. Right. So
I just didn't want to feel like anyone was stuck.
Collecting anyone. Yeah, I don't necessarily. I do feel a couple of souls wandering around. I don't know who they belong to. There was a couple of ones that I'm unsure of. I don't know if they're from that. They're really not talking to me.
Okay.
But maybe through some of the equipment they will engage on who they are, and maybe they won't. But I can tell you for sure, if it's just the soul that needs a little nudge, my blessing will absolutely get them to where they need to go. Perfect. Nobody will be stuck here today. Okay. After a thorough blessing. Sounds good. And then I will leave you with some tools too, to just occasionally, if you're just feeling a little heavy, you've had a really, really rough week at work and you're just feeling bogged down, come home and just either clear your own energy field off, with some sage or Palo Santo or cedar or something to that effect, and or the house, depending on how you feel. You'll know kind of in your heart if you feel like it's all on you, or if you start getting a really heavy uptick of activity.
Sounds good.
I honestly think the staircase thing, I think that's just your mother. And so, family spirits, those kind of, typically I don't remove those.
She can stay. She's been driving me nuts for 54 years. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could just make an agreement with her to be a little more subdued.
Oh, good luck with that.
I know. Well, we'll negotiate, but if she ever gets just a little rowdy, just, I don't know, tell her, pipe down, Mom. That's all you really can do with when it's not a mean soul. They're just they're just a little fussy soul, but they're family and they love you and they mean well. You just kind of, you sort of have to let them be at a certain point and let them do their thing. Now, if she's creeping out the dogs or something like that, you could just say, hey, be nice to the dogs, Mom, because I'll do whatever, I'll call Sack Spirit back out or whatever. We'll leave her be as long as she's nice if she's nice to you and she's nice to the animals, she could just do her thing and stay. I think she just wants to watch out after everybody. It just makes her feel better. So whatever. I mean, if that's what she really wants to do, fine. I don't know who the younger male is, but he keeps wandering around, so I don't know. He seems to be 30s or 40s. And so I don't know who or where he belongs. If he's...
Can you tell me what he looks like?
I'm having trouble seeing him because he's just sort of like wandering off.
30 or 40s when he passed, or 30 or 40s now?
See, that's where it gets weird for me, because I will sometimes see both. Sometimes I will see the age that they died or the age that they should be. So that's why I try to get them to describe something about themselves. What I feel about him, probably under 6 foot, somewhere around there, like 5'10", 5'11". I do see, it's a lighter colored shirt, but I can't tell what color. It's lighter colored. I know you're nervous with me, but you can step forward. He's got, he might have a little facial hair, a little bit of facial hair going on. But I really can't see him very closely. Like, he's just kind of off in the distance with me. So maybe I'll try to draw him forward a little closer and see if he'll give me more. But he doesn't seem negative at all. He seems like a decent enough fellow. He does seem like a little bit, I don't know, like somehow I feel like he really liked to go, something vehicular was involved with him, and I can't quite place him, but he's doing something. He's because I see him zipping around. He's zipping around and he's moving fast for me, too fast for me. He's like, but I like it, and that's about where I'm at with him. He's just zipping around doing stuff. But if he needs anything or if he wants to talk, I will let him. We have devices that he can interact with if he wants to actually step forward and be a little more present. But he seems overall like a nice enough fellow. I don't think he's causing any trouble. But if he needs a little help, we'll help him out.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll figure him out.
Well, I got about an hour before I got to get in the shower to go back to work, so let's do this.
Yeah. Let's get her done. Let's do some meters, dear.
The temp sensor on the mail room's going off?
It is, yeah.
All right. And you've got the...
But I'm going to baseline it because I'm walking up here and it's getting warmer.
Okay, I'm not getting anything on the tier on here yet.
I guess I'll take the meters into the...
Okay, I'm going to do a tier sweep of the bed.
Okay.
Not getting much. That's you.
I'm alive. Look at that.
You are alive.
Feel some stomach pain in here too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because you did feel something in here.
Yeah, I don't know quite what it was. It might be human energy that is just palpable off of items, It might be their own energy. As you know, humans can give off EMF. I do. And what are you getting?
Well, you did spike to 4 in a couple places in here.
Okay.
And that's 4 microteslas of EMF.
Okay. And how would you account for that?
Something electronic in here, possibly? Or magnetic? I got a good spike over here on the sun setting and on EMF, but it only went to 4 on EMF.
Okay.
Seems to be sporadic. But right in here, it wants to jump around.
We do know that there are a couple of souls that are wandering around.
Yeah. It's easily twice background EMF in the closet.
All right.
So that's kind of weird.
It is a little odd.
Yeah.
Do you want to try putting the eddy meter in there?
I can, except that it's downstairs.
Okay. I mean, I want to try all the different
for sure
available options if we think that there's something going on.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'll come to you. So in the bathroom here.
There's demons in the toilet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man, right?
There's a lot of evil in that bathroom.
It can happen.
But it really isn't the light switch is the interesting thing.
Excuse me? Okay. Now you stop. Oh. What are you doing?
Well, hello there.
So you like the REM pod, do you?
And that's where I was getting the 10 microteslas, was standing right about there, facing the wall.
Can you validate that you're an actual spirit by doing that again? Otherwise, I'll have to debunk you. Would you like to be debunked? They're like, I don't care.
Go ahead and debunk me. Is that her mother?
It might be. She might just be playing around with stuff.
No? And there's nothing
She lost interest in us.
There's nothing electronic in there that would account for it going off like that.
Well, ma'am, I'm going to have to debunk you. You can come back if you want. We're not here to hurt you. We're just here to help. So if you have anything you need to convey to us, now would be the time. Oh, sure, you go play with that one now. Come on now. I should put the temp sensor over on this one now.
Yeah. There's a lot of glass in here, though. It could just be warm up from the glass.
I'm going to take it away from you. All right, go back to the other ones if you want to interact. I want to be able to document you and help validate you. We're just here to help. That's all we're here for.
No?
If you don't want to play anymore, that's fine. We're not going to make you.
Did the REM pod scare you a little bit? It's not going to zap you.
Probably startled the hell out of her.
Yeah.
What was that? No, that's just so we know that you're here. What about some of the male souls that I felt? Are any of you still in here? Or did you wander off too? Let me take a quick recording of it.
I'm going to start running audio, I think, since we're getting a few hits.
All right. So we've got all these meters sitting in here in your closet. The REM pod was the one you heard going off. And that creates its own electromagnetic field. So obviously something has to break the field for it to do that. So we're sitting here filming it, and it's going off while it's inside of your closet.
Yeah. And I was able to verify that with this meter. There was 10 microteslas, which is 5 times background.
Yeah, the tri-field meter validated it by picking up 10 microteslas
of EMF.
inside.
And I was filtering for static, so it wasn't static.
Yeah, well, and it's not static, so it's not coming from the clothes. Okay. So I feel like maybe she's just wandering around getting into a lot of trouble and having fun.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I don't feel negative about what interaction we're having here. It feels playful and fun, and nothing feels aggressive.
None of it ever does.
Nothing's ever scared us.
It just feels like, oh, look, I'm just going to play with this. Oh, I'm just going to play with that. And if you're saying that she was kind of a little snooty about things and judgy about things, maybe she's just looking through stuff and kind of getting into your business.
Very, very possible.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, almost guaranteed.
She's just being a little nosy. And the temp sensor then goes off on the Mel as if to answer our question.
Right.
Because I baselined that.
Yeah, you did. So I did it.
So, Mom's nosy.
Yes, she is.
And she's playing with the toys.
Well, we got other toys. You can play with all of them. Pick a toy anytime. We've got good equipment that will measure you with your energy. We will show that you are here through your energy with these devices. Clearly you're comfortable touching that one, but you did touch the other one a little bit ago, and that was really cool. So if you want to do that
now
again.
Now the K2's going off too.
It's hitting the K2 now.
Temperature alarms on 2 devices simultaneously.
Thank you. Can you back off to help us validate you? Maybe just step back a little. She stepped away from that one. I'm going to baseline it out.
Okay.
So, it's all nice and baseline. So now, if you want to do that again, you've got meters over there. You've got meters here. You're allowed to touch either one of them. You don't have to, but you are allowed to. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
She's sort of a pushy little gal, isn't she? But she gave us some validation.
True.
Which I think that's appreciated. That's kind of cool. Do you want to take a couple of meters into the granddaughter's bedroom just to make sure that the child isn't giving off EMF into her space, and then just validate that, and then we can kind of go from there?
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
That was very interesting. Then it stops. So as soon as they start filming it, I was like, never mind. I'm definitely getting EMF over the bed.
So that would sort of validate the theory that we're having that she may be releasing psychokinetic energy from herself.
Gotcha.
So the fact that, because I do this to my own space too.
You do.
If you take a sweep over my bed, it does a similar thing. So people who are a little spiritually inclined, this happens.
Gotcha.
It's perfectly normal.
I'm going to debunk the hit that I'm getting right here because that's the lightning cable.
Okay, so
So
you're
I'm
going to
debunk that there.
All right.
But over on the side that you're on is pretty far away from that, and we could always unplug that. And don't want to cross meter or anything, but I'm still getting I'm getting 10 microteslas way the heck over here.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the cable.
No.
Right there.
That's
What's wrong, babe?
that's human.
Yep. That was me. Debunk. But yeah, 10 microteslas, right? Kind of almost in the center of the bed, more on this side.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what just happened?
So apparently the TV...
volume turned on by itself.
Wow.
And it just did it again.
We should probably go down there and look at that.
I think we should. Let's go check it out.
Ability, they can affect and manipulate electronic devices in the house.
Okay.
Brent, why don't you tell them what I do when I get annoyed or upset?
You do something. You do something called PKing electronic equipment, which is a psychokinetic bursts. Basically, you've actually destroyed a television set doing that. Don't particularly like you around my computer because you turned it off a couple of times with PK energy, and it's always when she gets upset at somebody.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing here, except that the other side can do it as well.
Yeah. So if you have a living agent in the home that is able to send that energy into the space, and you've got some deceased people in the home that are, obviously free to move around, the combination of the energy can really wreak havoc on electronics.
Okay.
So...
Because, televisions will turn on and off.
That's so weird.
But
cool, but weird.
Yeah. Creepy and cool.
Yeah, so my thought process too, obviously you've probably checked the electronics, that kind of thing. Kind of went through the
checklist,
yeah, the debunking steps. If it's not the devices, it's not the house electronics, which we're not getting a lot of errant EMF, so it feels like the house is well grounded,
right,
shielded, all of that.
Yeah.
It's probably a mixture of living person energy and the deceased that are causing a swarm of interactions with things.
Okay.
And so the blessing will definitely help.
Okay.
But I don't think you guys are going to be ever 100% paranormal free, because you have some loved ones who want to stay here.
Okay.
and you've got a teenager that needs to learn how to ground and meditate a little bit, so and simmer down. I don't know if I sent you my grounding documents and so forth.
You did.
So get her involved in that.
I will.
And so that will be part of the recipe for success. But I think that, you know, we kind of have a good idea. It's not malicious. It's not aggressive. And I don't even necessarily think that you're dragging a lot of souls home.
Okay.
But it's good to just do the clearing periodically because you might get a little bit of residual energy. It's almost like a film. It's not really like the soul's coming home with you, but you might get energetic film on you. And then when you're feeling low and depressed after a loss like that, then you've got a teenager with their anxieties, and then you've got your mom and her nosiness. Can you imagine what kind of soup of energy that puts in the house?
Yes.
I mean, it does a lot to the space, and it can affect everyone, and it can affect electronics as well. So when you know that energy is amping up, you need to break out the protocol of clearing, smudging, praying, meditating, you know, getting back to baseline anytime things amp up. It's just going to be kind of a as-needed protocol. But I think that overall the house has got a lot of joy in it and a lot of love, and you guys have infused a lot of your heart and soul into the space, and I like it a lot. It's got a really lovely energy. So, and you know, you're doing a little bit of remodeling in here and there. And by the way, a little remodeling does sometimes amp up activity, FYI.
Sure.
So the blessing will help bring that back down.
Perfect.
And then as you continue to do the remodel, just make sure you have some, you know, materials on hand to continue the spiritual upkeep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think you've got this. I think you do.
Okay, good.
So, to me, it sounds like, you know, based on obviously your time constraints and based on what we found thus far, you're comfortable moving basically straight to the blessing.
I am.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
We tailor it to your needs.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
And you guys have any questions? Or?
No, I just wanted to. That's who you're seeing.
I was going to ask. I was actually going to ask.
Well, she is a fancy soul, isn't she?
Oh, you have no idea. This is true.
Look at that.
What are you getting?
Cold spots.
We are by a window.
I know. I'm going to debunk for that.
And I'll collect.
But look, like pointed right at it. It's pretty warm out today.
Okay. I'm going to go collect my other meter and get those.
I was getting a warm spot toward now. See, that's the TV, and I would expect that.
Yeah, you would.
Reset for that. That was interesting, though. Let's see, why am I getting cold spots? You should see this, Mel.
Okay, well, I have a handful of
Stuff.
stuff. I'm coming.
Go ahead and back away to show that it's you. Can you back away? Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
On demand, huh?
Would you like to come towards it? It's not going to zap you, I promise. Would you like to come towards the device in my left hand? Just walk slowly towards it.
Well, she thinks you're cute, so that helps.
Can you walk slowly towards me?
Yeah, maybe she's nervous around me.
She's always been.
That's the TV.
She's always been more comfortable around males than females.
Where are you?
She's wandering around. Oh, look at the puppy.
I can let the dogs in if you like.
If they would be comfortable being
You
cuddly.
don't hear that?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
So, I think that this went pretty well. We didn't do every single one of our items that we normally deploy on a case, but we did quite a few. The walkthrough went very well, was very validated by what we were picking up, and the energy that they described matches what we felt. We got some good hits on some of the meters, definitely got some validation. So for the most part, I think that we accomplished what we needed to let them have some peace of mind that, yes, there's energy here, but it's totally manageable. So, thorough blessing, reboot their space.
Pretty much just family.
Yeah, it's basically family.
Mainly our mom.
Mom is a little noisy.
Yup.
But it's okay. They have now a way of understanding and dealing with it.
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to be all right with this one. They have a plan.
Good job.
On to the next.
On to the next.